Greetings, homebody! Civilization 6 roster was recently extended with 2 new leaders. And while Byzantium is an undeniably OP religious domination nation, good luck pronouncing that, Gaul actually caused some controversy in the community. How should you play them, what is the best victory to go for, and why isn't their soundtrack Asterix and Obelix theme? As they used to say in my favorite TV show, let's find out. To start with, let's hear what developers consider Gaul.
Gaul's focus is on a defensive, culture and production-centered game.
This statement is the least controversial because everyone agrees it is wrong. However, the alternative is where things get interesting. Many people suggested that Gaul are a domination civilization that is supposed to play like a barbarian horde and zerg rush everyone with their warriors. Some suggested that their huge production means they are a science-industrial civilization like Germany, and Gaul should mine their way to space. And my personal favorite is the take from Potato McWhiskey.
Here's a hot take. I think this is a diplomatic victory civilization, okay? Because the two most important things for a diplomatic victory are culture and production, okay? If you have a civilization that's amazing at culture and production, they can do an amazing diplomatic victory game, because you need to get to the end of the civic tree to get the carbon reclamation project, which reduces your CO2 production and increases your diplomatic favor that you can use to win world congresses. And this civilization wants to build the industrial zone in every city because they get it for half price, which is a key component to doing the carbon recapture project that you unlock with culture. So this feels like an amazing diplomatic victory civ that can pretty much transition and do whatever they want, whether it's war or whatever.
What can I add, he just came there and flipped the game board. Now you probably wanna hear who is right, aren't you? Well, get ready for this, none of them are. After playing Gaul myself, I came to conclusion that they are actually bad at everything. And before you hit dislike and write your comment, let me explain. First of all, let's deal with the easiest one. Culture victory is a terrible choice for Gaul. Your unique district decreases your appeal, so do mines. Also, the way you should put your districts as Gaul makes it impossible to fit national parks in. Yes, you do get culture from mines and units, but as we know, culture doesn't actually win your cultural victory. Face and appeal do. So to actually win a culture victory, you'd have to cosplay Margaret Thatcher and close all your mines, which will leave you with no cultural bonuses whatsoever. Out of all, I recommend culture victories the least. Next up, what about domination? Spam out your gizzards, get culture for it, don't care about science because of how your unique unit works, and play the barbaric kings thanks to your flanking bonus, right? Kinda like Alexander, focus on war only while still keeping up in other areas via building units and conquest. Well, even though all of it is true, and I enjoyed playing this way, first, Alexander isn't actually good, and second, I didn't mention one part of it. Gaul have the worst naval game available, so if you wanna conquer overseas, well, good luck with that. What do I mean with the worst naval game? Gaul harbors are absolute garbage, and there is no way around it. Most of harbor adjacency comes from city center and 2 districts. But Gaul can't build districts next to city center and receive no district adjacency, so your best possible harbor is around +3 and relies completely on luck. You need to somehow get a coastal spot next to several resources and 2 mines. But to build it, you also need to settle at least a tile away, which prevents you from using the yields of those resources right away. This also prevents you from having good commercial hubs, because they need to be put next to harbors. Your best solution is to conquer a city with a good harbor, so congrats, you now rely on AI being smart. Same AI that builds one tile Petra and Chichen Itza, plays religious Korea and forgets to use their great people. Well then, maybe just forget about harbor and simply build a navy. But without a harbor, you won't get to fleets and armadas, so you end up in a lose-lose situation. Either a weak city with a bad harbor that builds navy extremely slow, or a weak coastal city without a harbor with useless water tiles that builds ships one by one. You can also try simply buying yourself a navy, but without a harbor that would be much more expensive. Also, your weak commercial hubs and harbors can't generate enough gold for it. Levying some city-states also won't give you enough ships, so throwing money at the problem isn't the way. And without a navy, you will just get yourself your own D-Day, or maybe even Gallipoli. So if you get a map where no navy is needed, good for you, but I get 2 separate landmasses even when I pick Pangaea. Okay, but what's wrong with science then? No way even this is weak. Sure, your early production is insane, and you get a free tech with extra production for mines, stay safe with protection from your industrial zones, and even keep up in culture with mines. That's all good. However, that's not just a power spike early on, that's the best you can get. Your industrial zones get adjacency only from quarries and strategic resources. That's it. So once you build them, you can't really improve them with aqueducts, dams or even districts. So from +4 to +6 is the best you can get. And even though it sounds nice, it's far from German Hansa. Also, besides the free tech, you have no science boost. So this insane early tempo is pretty much all you have. After that you either fall off or sometimes even fall behind, because normal industrial zones can get better adjacency later on in the game. Finally, how about diplomacy? You get to necessary civics faster with your culture, your unique districts pump out diplomatic favor, and early power spike makes you reach this point even faster. Sounds actually good and viable, why not? Well, your unique district not only pumps out diplomatic favor once you reach future era, it also pumps out CO2 since industrial era. And that actually makes your diplomatic favor output negative. Besides, your big military strength empowers you to go conquer somebody, which also eats up some of your diplomatic favor. And the straw to break camel's back. Think about placing diplomatic quarter as Gaul. It gives you envoy for being next to city center, which you can't do. And it secures adjacent districts from spies, who are actually your weakness since you don't put districts next to each other, so counter-spy is barely possible. And you receive no adjacency from diplomatic quarter, which makes it just a terrible district. So until future era you have pretty much nothing towards your diplomatic victory. With all that in mind, is Gaul a terrible civilization with no win condition? Obviously no, their bonuses are actually quite good. But they are a jack of all trades, and as this saying goes, it makes Gaul master of none. They're kinda like Cree, they have no preferable win condition, and you should use all their strengths to achieve success. Your early military strengths should be used to conquer some of the neighbors. However, you shouldn't fall into that military trap and stop your conquest once the seas separate you from your enemies. Your early production comes in handy to spam out units, but it's not enough to total up and outperform others. Germans or Netherlands are better at that. Your culture boost is good for getting through the civics tree, but might stop you from creating a touristic paradise. You just need to seek balance. In my opinion, as Gaul, you need to settle wide. Build up your industrial power fast, then use it to produce your huge and cheap army while staying ahead culturally. Then swarm your neighbors and use their lands to win. What I just described is the playstyle domination civilizations use when they can't take everyone over. Since you conquered some people, diplomacy won't be available. And culture will be hard when everyone hates you. So I think science is the way, which makes Gaul an early domination cultural science nation and is pretty hard to pronounce. So there you have it. That was my take on how you should play as Gaul to make them as strong as possible. Obviously, it's an opinion, and if you disagree on any topic, feel free to tell me off. I'll be reading and replying to all of the comments. Thanks for your time, hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. Good luck in your games, stay safe and wash your hands.